Shut up and sit down.
I was riding on my bike.
So I'm in the hot seat, so here we go.
I grip the handlebars as I overtake.
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Graham, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von During.
El asiento caliente está de vuelta.
I was punching on a show.
Hello and welcome to the hot seat.
Flying just like Superman.
All of us will end up in the hot seat.
On my bike. Just riding on my bike. Riding on my bike.
So embark on this journey with us, wouldn't you? On the hot seats with me.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I'm Jake Von During. I'm here with Lance Hepler.
Lance Romance. Hi.
Studio.
In studio.
Hi.
With a very, very cleaned up handlebar mustache.
With,
Actually,
it's a nice stash.
It's a nice straight razor shave mustache.
Yep.
It's looking good today.
Looking good.
Smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth and creepy.
Smooth and creepy.
You generally grow that for cyclocross, right? Like right at the, just going into cyclocross season, kind of concurrent with when the weather goes bad, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
But the weather has
So-
just been bad.
Continuously
so I think
bad, and he's still got the mustache.
It's
So
still here.
maybe it's time
It's
to
just a
shave.
reflection of weather, I
Somebody
think.
hog tie him and get him shaving clean so the weather goes nice.
We
I
have
have
to-
shaved
yeah.
it clean, and then I feel wrong.
Yeah,
I
naked.
look in the mirror and I'm naked.
not
Go
good.
make it
Yeah.
out.
Or more naked than normal.
Brandy, if you're listening to this, we're on to something.
Yeah.
When Lance is sleeping,
She
get the
would
clippers
do
out.
that.
just
I would not put that past her, actually.
I could go incognito again and shave the mustache off. Nobody would recognize me.
This is true.
I like that plan.
Should do that to start cyclocross season and see how many people recognize you.
Can't do it during cyclocross season. That is just wrong. You can do it now, but
Okay.
To Lance's left, Evan Price.
All right, we got I am drinking from a Martine bottle, not Martine, because I mean, come on, I'm not just gonna like sip on Martine over here. I think it's like a something light little packet that I got from a gas station, and Lance is drinking Monster.
I have a zero sugar
Zero
Monster
sugar.
Energy. We're almost through all the free ones that have been dropped off.
So you know it's
wave
good.
wave down the next van.
We got Matt
We need
with
to do
our
something.
sponsor, Kirkland.
Kirkland
And
sponsor.
then we got Jake grabbing his drink, the Podium Blue Chill bottle.
water.
I don't know what's in there, but yeah, water. Good.
Yeah, I started my my kombucha really early. Lance and I were getting all ready for the podcast in here. Sat down, got everything set up, started drinking. When I looked down, I'm like, oh, we still got like 20 minutes to go before the guys get here. So
Does your stomach like do well with kombucha overall? I know you drink it a decent amount.
some people, yeah, will have some
Yeah.
gastric distress. I could drink 3 or 4 of
That's
them.
impressive.
100%
yeah,
fine.
I can't do that.
My little brother's the same way. Apparently, he can drink like a lot of kombucha. I do it. I try to, and it's just like my stomach is toast the rest of the day.
What's the deal with kombucha? What is it? Is it good for you or something?
I'm sure it is, but you know,
I don't think
so
it's
is Monster.
good for you.
What is it?
I mean, it's. I think that it's kind
Isn't
of
it like
a
fermented something?
Yeah, it's fermented. I know that.
I think that's what. I think it reminds me of like an.
Sounds good.
My stomach rejects things that's supposed to be good for it, though. We're trying to work on that, but you know,
I don't know. Yeah.
I just know it's fermented. That's it.
And last but not least, Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys look fantastic. Smooth and creepy.
Matt is going with. Have we thought about anything for the summer facial hair? Sure.
I'm going to do the same thing I always do, which is like shave it,
I think
then
we
grow
need
it
to-
out, then shave it, then grow it out, repeat.
I think we need to come
every
up
2
with
weeks.
because I think that you could have a really cool facial hair thing that becomes your thing at like the Y races. It's like Matt's the guy with the camera at the Y races. He also has an awesome goatee or something like that. You know.
Yes.
I think you could
Awesome.
rock a goatee. Of all the things you could do, I think a goatee would be best.
I think I had one in college. Like just
Really?
yeah, I think. Well, I'm trying to remember
Did you
what
have
I
the stash
did
with it?
because I had long hair and like, and I think I
Did you
had.
have a goatee and long hair?
Yeah, I
We
think,
need a picture of
I think I
this.
had like maybe one of. I think I definitely had like the hair like all around the chin, just chin hair.
With no mustache though,
I think no mustache.
and long hair.
In long hair, but then I shaved my hair to this length.
That's an amazing look. Did you
It
PR
was-
your 10K with that look?
No,
Dang it, that would be. I was like,
no, that was like
coolest.
that was like freshman year.
Oh.
And then I don't know.
And then they made fun of you enough, and you're like, okay, fine. I'll
No,
shave it.
no one made fun of me. It was like the look back then was to have like a goatee.
Yeah.
It was like kind of, if you think like late 90s, early 2000,
Yeah.
that was kind of like the look, you know?
Yeah, this is like when that one summer song was like, I like girls that wear
Wear
Abercrombie and
Abercrombie.
Fitch. It was like the guy in the background was Matt with like the hair and the goatee.
Hair and the goatee. It was big. I was in that. Yeah, I was in that music video.
That's cool. Yeah, I could see that.
It was big.
Little known fact, they actually filmed that on the Alabama coast. I just made that up.
All right, how about some backpedaling, boys?
I'll go first.
Anybody ready? Okay, go, Matt. Go.
Well,
Go.
we can
No.
talk about racers.
No.
We can move through the crappy stuff, which would be my stuff. I think I swam.
Nobody raced here. So.
I think I swam 4 times
Nice.
in the past week, which is good. And
Very
then
good, yeah.
Just been on the bike trainer. I actually went out a couple of times on the road. I didn't tell anyone or post it to Strava just because it was such a short ride. They were like,
Going ghost.
one of them was maybe 4 miles. The other one was like 3 miles.
Oh, well.
But you got
There's-
outside?
There's no such thing as too short for Strava. I one
Yeah.
time posted a half-mile walk to Strava, so there's no shame.
And I posted a stand-up paddleboard to Strava.
Oh, you did.
Stand-up paddleboard ride because I went out there in the rain to put the buoys out because people have been asking
put
for
the
the
buoys
buoys.
out?
People have been.
You're the best. I could have helped you with that,
People
man.
have been like, "Hey, where are the buoys?" And I'm like, "Get off your butt and do it yourself, man." This is just like buoys that I bought and I'm putting in the lake. I've been getting harassed to put the buoys out.
But
so
that's how well known you are at Fallen Leaf is when we went out there, John and Scott, I don't think that John Scott knew that you were the one who did, because they asked me, they're like, where are the buoys? And I'm like, that's Matt.
Yeah.
Like, Matt is recovering from a surgery is what's happening.
it's going to be a little late this year, but I did put
The
them
one's a little
out.
chilly to get the buoys out, right?
I put them out on Sunday and it started pouring down
you're the
rain when
best.
I was out there, which was, it was like beautiful for the first buoy. And then I came back on the next one and put it out there and I was like, oh, it's not pretty anymore.
You should have just waited. I could have helped you with that. I feel bad now.
I didn't realize you guys were swimming on Sunday.
Yeah, with the
That
last
was
3 weeks
awesome.
we've been there. Yeah.
You've been at Fallen Leaf the last 3 weeks? I
Last
would just
2
come out
weeks,
and watch.
last
I'm
2
like,
weeks, and then we were Columbia. Yeah,
walk
come out with
down.
us this next
I
Sunday.
mean, I'm
It'll be
kind of
fun.
that guy that would just go
Bring
watch
Ethan with you.
open water swimming.
Bring Ethan to open water. Be like, hey man, this is we can
He
find
would
him a
love
little-
it because Sundays he can't swim, and so
Yeah,
he would
he can
just
come out
like
there
come
with
open
us.
water swim. Anyway,
fun.
I also biked outside twice, which is crazy because I'm testing some. Well, I was testing a bike computer and testing some more stuff that's coming out soon, and I needed to get some footage of all that stuff, not just talk about the specs. I like to use the products occasionally.
Yeah.
So doing it,
Nice.
doing the rides, doing the biking.
Sweet.
Yep.
Lance Epler.
Yes.
Do you want to backpedal, dude?
I rode almost every day this week, which I haven't done
Outside?
in a long time. I did ride on the trainer one morning.
Because it's been rainy.
Yeah, it has been rainy. But I rode quite a bit, like almost 16 hours this week, which is
How many miles? You keep track of that?
it was like 250
Great,
or
man.
280 miles. So
That's quality.
It was quite a bit. Yeah.
You feel good? Are you feeling good out there? Whoa.
No, I feel slow
Do you?
and sluggish and really not all that sharp.
That's okay. It'll come. If you keep putting in 200-mile weeks, you'll be
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of rolling with it. I rode gravel on Tuesday night with the crew. We had a blast doing that out on the new dike. We had a lunch ride here at the lab on Wednesday. I did that.
Wednesdays are killing me, man.
Yeah.
That was
You're
a
like-
beautiful day for a ride.
It was a
Yeah.
great day for a ride.
It's kids' early release on Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah. And we ride at like 12:30
Get
here
some
at
older
the lab.
That's
kids.
exactly when they come home.
Is that a thing that's
some
going to
older
stay?
kids.
Put the kids on bikes.
Is that going to stay permanently now? The early releases on Wednesdays.
It's been like that
Yep.
forever. Yeah.
Oh, has it always been
Oh,
here
yeah.
that reach?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Get some older kids. Speaking of older kids, any new cars in your house?
There might be one. My daughter is driving now.
She's
It's
driving
crazy.
now.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's got a car now. It's crazy.
Man, watch out, cyclists out on the roads.
You know
new
what, though?
drivers.
She'll
No,
look
she's a
for
good driver.
cyclists.
You know
she
how-
should take care of cyclists. If anyone
Yeah.
is going
of
to.
all the-
You know how handy that is? Hey, go to the grocery store. Oh, hey, go pick up your sister. Oh, hey,
man.
go get this.
Does she like driving?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the yeah.
Yeah.
You got a rare one right there because most of the kids I talk to, that is right now.
Don't
They're like scared of driving. They don't want to drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's been driving since
pumped to
almost like a full year of like permanent driving. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's working
That's
out well.
awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Anything else?
It's his
Oh,
back
I'm
pedal. I
already
took over.
backpedaling.
Done?
Oh, I did ride gravel one day, just like for 4 hours, just out screwing off.
Where'd you go?
I rode all the way out to Vancouver Lake and to Frenchman's Bar, and in the farmers' fields in between, I saw a river otter running through a plowed field.
Those farmer fields are like pretty rough riding, like fun, but it's like narrow, rough riding.
Oh yeah.
It can get muddy back there.
Yeah.
So
and
you rode your gravel bike
rode my
out.
gravel bike. Yeah.
out to Vancouver Lake and
Yeah.
then found some fun stuff.
Found some fun stuff out there. That was nice.
4
and then,
hours.
yeah, I know. I was just,
You're having fun.
I was just
Lance
having
right?
fun. I was just screwing off. I had
That's
no
awesome.
agenda, and I had skipped all the racing this week. I missed the Cascade Gravel Grinder.
Which other yeah.
I missed the Coast Hills Classic mountain bike race. I bailed on all those, so I ended up just riding with Jake on Sunday for 50 miles, and it was like
Where'd you guys go?
we rode up to Hawkinson and around and some new roads, and
You found something new?
we got we were just like
Screwing around.
Yeah,
It's just a Zone 2 day. That's all we wanted to
it's
do.
just Zone 2 day. Yeah,
Started
we
off
got
pretty nice.
It was gorgeous, and then we got dumped on for the same down. We actually
it was
rode
at 12.
past.
Yeah.
we rode
Past the lake?
Past the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw Cassie running too.
We did see Cassie
Really?
running.
Yeah.
What day was that again?
Sunday.
Sunday yesterday.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
She swam there Sunday
So you guys
morning.
must have started at 11 or something and then just got dumped on at
10:30,
12.
Yeah, we
You
started
must have put
10:30.
those out right after they were done swimming because they started at like 8, I think. They were probably done at 9.
I was out there from,
These guys
started
love
at
talking
like
about
11.
buoys, don't they?
No,
I don't get
Buoys.
Cycling
Buoy,
class.
yeah.
Buoys.
Buoy
They're
talk.
beautiful buoys. Let me tell you about them.
Them buoys.
Them buoys.
Cool.
All right, I can make this since I
Wait,
was near.
You raced your
You raced
bicycle.
your bike.
I did. That's what I was about to say. I was like, actually,
You have
I
something to
have
say?
raced my bike. Man, it was an exciting race. I just apologize. I'm sure like anybody listening is like, Evan's a sandbagger and he's also an awful bike racer, which would be an accurate statement after my PIR performance on Monday.
Was that your first PIR?
No, I did 2. I actually think last year. I was lying. I did 2 last year.
Okay.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, but those were 2. That's when it's on Tuesday. And it's the 3-4 field.
Yes.
I did
and
those races.
it's all ages, and these Monday
Yes.
night races are
Masters, which I am
yeah.
now
30
because
plus.
I'm 30 plus.
Yeah, 30
I'm
plus.
probably the youngest
PR,
person in the
can you
race.
pull that off? Yep.
But yeah, so I was more excited about actually we had a lot of junior kids who are also going to be doing triathlons this year who were jumping into road racing, which was a blast.
That's cool.
We had Austin, Maddie, Braden, Natalie. I think Julia might be there too here coming up, Julia Barna. And now tonight we got Jackson and Ella Webb will also be there. So we got, a bunch of kids and then hopefully more are going to slowly start working into it this summer too. But yeah, it was, I just love road racing. I was even telling Josh, who's probably going to jump into a couple PIRs this year. He's like, is it worth it? I'm like, oh yeah, it's always, road racing is just a blast. Anytime I can do it. I do feel now like, everybody's rolling their eyes here, but I feel like the old guy jumping back into road racing because it's been so long since I did consistent. Like when I was like 18 to 25, I would like build my triathlon seasons around road racing because secretly I enjoyed road racing more than I actually did triathlons.
Right.
So I was almost racing every single week. Like I would just train through road races and run after the races. Basically, it was my training weekend. But coming out here and racing now, I'm just going to do a couple 4 or 5 races in PIR, and then I don't know, I might do a 1, 2, 3 or 2. But I have no business racing in a 1, 2, 3 field because you need to be able to sprint.
Well, but
I
you
have no
can
business.
be
Yeah.
can be
I work
there
for
for
people all
teammates.
day. Oh, yeah.
And you can be in the field. No
If we
problem.
can figure out a way to check POA and keep them, I will sit on the front and drag them back as much as I can so that somebody like Ian or when we have Alan Plank there can go and punch a sprint, know? So I will get through a 4 or 5 race tonight with Lance. I've already decided that he's coming with me. And
Apparently I'm coming to the race tonight.
Lance is coming with me. And then hopefully we can do some work for Ian in 1, 2, 3 races coming up. So yeah, it was my bachelor party was this weekend. Basically all we did was hike and mountain bike. We went up to
How was it?
Packwood.
Near
Paradise.
Near Rainier National Park. Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful area. There are forest logging roads there that go forever. You could come up with a 200-mile ride just doing like national forest roads there.
That sounds awesome, actually.
It was so nice. And it was pouring the entire time, but I didn't care. We just rode and rode and rode, and I really enjoy riding my mountain bike right now. So I'm getting more comfortable on it, and hopefully I won't die in Telluride, Colorado. So
Big goal.
Yep.
You're going to die.
I'm going to die. It's going to be bad. Well, one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to either feel really good in the beginning and be like, this is awesome. Or I'm going to feel bad in the beginning, which would be better because then I'll go slower.
No. What's the over-under on the amount of times Evan crashes during the Telluride race?
Oh, no.
I don't know.
You might want to go under because I'm a very cautious mountain bike rider.
I hope
That's
you're
what I was
cautious.
gonna
Until I'm having fun, and then I'll try and bunny hop everything. And if I do that in Telluride, yes, I will eat crap. There will be no way I don't eat it.
Have you gone down in any of your recent training rides?
I mean, if I say that out loud, it's going to, knocking on wood very hard.
Which
No, I
means
have
he
not.
hasn't.
But my little brother, so my little brother who is at the bachelor party with me
Sure.
and is a champ. He's a climber. He's just a kind of he's getting older, but he's always been an adrenaline junkie guy.
Sure.
So he loves mountain biking with us and his mountain bikes, like, you know, when he lived in Indiana, now up in Seattle, but not consistently like we do. He goes out with us and wants to have fun on this descent too. And it's like bunny hopping everything, rips his right foot out and just endos over the, the bars, just gravel rash everywhere. No broken anything, just lots of gravel rash, but he was fine otherwise. But yeah.
Ouch.
It's okay. He's young. He's way tougher than me, so he's
That's
fine.
funny.
Right on. I guess it's my turn real quick. Yeah, same thing that Lance did. We did the gravel ride, which it's our same old. We do it all the time, but I always have fun on that ride.
It's fun.
It's always a good group of people. It's a good workout.
Is that going to flip to Monday once PIR moves to Tuesday? Probably.
I don't know.
Because if it does, I would like to join. So yeah, probably in a mountain bike.
The Monday nights don't go away though.
Oh, PIR Monday stays?
Yeah.
This is how much I don't know
It
about that
stays for like
schedule.
another 5 or 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, it
it's-
does? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
But yeah, we did that, and then life happened, and I did the Wednesday lunch ride, which was nice, and then life happened, and I missed Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But I'm still trying to kind of build my fitness back up, so it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. And then we went out and rode for 2.5 hours on Sunday. So
Yeah.
it was good.
It was lovely.
Yeah, so it's a pathetic, paltry 6.5 hours of riding for me, but it will get up. Hopefully, gosh, this stupid weather. It's gonna be crappy weather again this week. The flogging ride's gonna get rained out again. Oh my god.
We've been joking with these kids on Thursday nights are just thinking that whenever you ride your bicycle, it rains now. I think is that I've
It's
taught kids so
ridiculous,
far is
yeah.
that it's going to rain if you touch your bicycle.
There's supposed to be another strong storm system coming in later this week, and it's supposed to give us a fair amount of rain, if I'm not mistaken. So,
I saw Saturday, Sunday still look okay, but that could change. I don't know.
Who knows? But
We are
like,
having
isn't-
unprecedentedly really bad weather here right now. That is just wearing on people.
And isn't the rest of the country dealing with like sweltering heat?
Can we get some of that?
The Southwest
Yeah.
and the South are all dealing with record heat.
Actually,
right
would
now.
I take that? No, to be completely honest, I like the kind of 55, even if it's raining, versus sweltering heat.
Yeah.
I
There
want
was,
neither, but I will take this over the sweltering
There
heat.
was a 150-mile gravel race this weekend in Texas.
Locos. Wasn't that Gravel Locos?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And it was over 100 degrees for the race.
That's so
Nope.
dangerous. Oh, my God.
Yikes.
No thanks.
That's a long time to be out
A
there.
long time to be out there.
That's a long time to be sweating.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on.
Champ Bailey, top 5.
Top 5.
I'm all about having
Fun.
I'm all about having fun. Champ here.
someone's kitchen. Maybe go to SeaWorld, take my pants off.
Takes his pants off. That's all I need to hear
all
right there.
we needed was- So yes, Champ is here. There was a lot of stuff that happened. We've got local news, we've got regional news, we've got national news and international
Let's
news.
do it all. Let's do it all.
Where do you want?
Let's go
start.
Giro first. Giro, go.
Okay, so the Giro, we are through the first 9 stages. Cavendish has taken a first and a third.
Proving once again that I cannot correctly predict anything.
Arnaud Demar has won 2 sprint stages.
Yep.
He's doing very well, and it is still being led by Lopez, a
young Spanish kid from Trek.
a young Spanish kid from Trek.
He's going to lose it, though. Blockhouse
He was about to lose it yesterday.
Kept it by seconds.
And
at
he pulled it
Blockhouse.
off. He's still got a 12-second lead, so
Yeah.
pretty amazing that they're holding it off. So yes, we've still got another week and a half to go in the Giro. It has been quite exciting racing. It's been good racing to watch. So that's been kind of fun.
Kind of I mean, it's like Landa looks like he's strong. Carapaz is strong. Bardet is. It's been cool to see Bardet come back to life
I
because
think,
he's been gone.
are we
for
all
so
big fans
long.
of Bardet now?
Oh yeah,
I think we should be.
I like
We
Bardet
should
a
be.
lot. He's a super nice guy. You want to see that guy do good.
Yep,
This is why I liked Bernal, is because I always thought Bernal was like this super nice guy too.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
So fun stuff.
Okay. It's not going to be long before we're going to have our Tour de France, like
very close.
Whatever we do our predictions.
6 weeks away, 5 or 6
When
weeks
you
away.
guys get to make ridiculous predictions that
Yes.
Wout van Aert will be on a podium.
Egan Bernal to win it
and
all.
then I get to make
Is
it
that what
even
you're supposed to say?
more ridiculous.
Don't you have? Do we have a bet on that already?
I'm
He
really
already
good
has
at
a
picking
bet.
guys that won't be at the actual race.
you already bet that he was going to be there.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't even remember what the bet was, but I think it's just on the starting
My
line.
bet is not looking as bad as it did previously.
So-
right now, it looks like it could be a toss-up.
Probably not going to be at the Tour, but could he go to the Vuelta?
That's a better question. I think no matter where he goes, he will not be GC leading, but I do think he's a great story if they can shove him into their Vuelta line. Like, gets, they might have to plan
So
where they're
good.
like, hey, man, just make it through 2 weeks.
It'd be so good to see him on the bike performing for sure.
I would love
decently.
to see that. Yeah, I would.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
On national news, very somber news in the gravel world. This was quite a shock. Mariah Wilson was shot and killed last week.
Yeah.
This is the craziest story, and I have lots of questions.
Yeah, so ask away. I know as much.
Austin,
you know as much as anyone.
Yeah, I know as much as anyone. So Mariah Wilson she's won every race she's entered this year. She won Belgian Waffle Ride. She won Sea Otter. She was leading the Lifetime Grand Prix Fitness. She was the favorite for this race that happened, Gravel Locos in Hico, Texas.
This is the worst story.
It is a terrible story.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it's horrible. Was she shot while she was out biking?
No. She
just shot.
Yes. So she'd flown from Colorado to Austin, Texas to stay with a friend. She was staying with a friend in a friend's house in Austin, Texas. The friend had left and had come back like 6 hours later and found her in her home, shot and killed.
Yeah, multiple times.
She'd been shot multiple times. It was not suicide. They've ruled that out. It was homicidal.
Yeah.
It was a murder, and they don't. There's no other details about it.
That is just
nothing else out
super
there
odd.
yet. It is super odd.
So my buddy Chris Lee, who I've talked about on this podcast before, strength coach in Boulder, was Mo's strength coach actually, so knows her decently well. He was off, so we talked today a little bit, but he was off social media entirely over the last 2 days and said he has no idea what happened, but he's shell shocked. She's somebody who I think a lot of people who know her personally really like. She is an incredibly well liked person. Very well. So
you guys met her.
She's somebody we've met. Brandy and I have met her. She was at Rebecca's Private Idaho.
Yeah, and I know
really
it's like taking pictures
sweet.
with Brandy. I mean, that's like an awesome person. And it just like Chris's take on was like, he has no explanation. He's like, there's no way I could see her being involved in anything that would result in this. He's like, she's a good hearted human being. This doesn't make sense.
It's unexplainable. So we're all kind of anxiously waiting for details to come out, and it
Like
may
a
be
robbery
weeks or
attempt
months
maybe or something.
before something comes out. We don't know what happened yet, which is terrible.
Well, they're being pretty quiet about the whole thing. In general, when you're pretty quiet, you've got some pretty good info that you're working off of, and you don't want anything to get out.
There's
because the person's
suspect.
still at large.
Okay.
So that's I think that's you're right. I think it's since the person's still at large, they don't want to say anything.
Yeah. So
which is good. If we don't know anything for longer, good. Because if they can find I'd rather they do whatever they
It
need.
just sucks. I mean, what a loss. I mean, she's
terrible.
26 years old.
Yeah.
Whole life
So
ahead
young.
of her, doing fantastic things on the bike. Gone.
Yeah. Very,
So
very
sad.
sad. It ripped through the gravel community. They didn't even know if they should run the race.
It's a small community too, which is the saddest part. This is a tight knit group.
They still her family members sent something to the race and said she would want the race to go on, so please go on and race. It just put a big dark cloud over gravel racing right now, and it had nothing to do with being on the bike. It just was a senseless, tragic loss, which is terrible.
So that was the race in Texas.
In Texas.
Who do you know who won that?
It was some Swedish or Norwegian guy. It was there was a couple Europeans that
Came down to a
over.
sprint, right?
It did.
Okay.
And one guy got away by like 10 seconds, and like Stetna and the other favorites were like 10 seconds back.
Yeah.
Was
so
Boswell
close.
there too?
Was who?
Was Boswell there?
Ian Boswell?
Yes.
He was, yeah. I think everyone was scared of the heat. It was
very
110
hot.
or something?
It was over 100 degrees. It was hot. Everybody
Norwegian
was... And a Norwegian one or something.
Hey,
Somebody like that.
Christian Blumenfeld wins in Tokyo and St. Joe. Apparently, Norwegians can handle heat super well. I don't know why.
Yes. It's suspicious.
Really, it is.
Yeah.
It is, because when we look at that, we're looking at a lot of, and this is not just happening in gravel site. There's like Norwegians are winning in very hot conditions right now. I'm like, what are they doing? Do they just live in saunas? They just go to Norway and they're just like, you're either
Sauna.
training or in a sauna.
Who won the women's side?
It wasn't...
Can't remember.
Sarah Sturm took second. I don't remember who was first, and I'm trying to find the results, and they haven't been real. Oh, it wasn't a Norwegian. It was a Dutch rider, Jasper Okel-Leon.
Same difference. You know.
And the race director implemented mandatory 2-minute stops at the aid stations so that people would hydrate.
That's smart. That's
so
smart.
everybody had a mandatory
good on that. Good on that
2-minute
race. Good on that race director,
race
because you're going to get
director.
some of the people leading that race going to make dangerous decisions. Then.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of a hard week for that.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's tough.
Local racing, we did have the Cascade Gravel Grinder, a 3-day stage race out in Bend in the Sisters area. We had some teammates that were out there and did that. I did this race last year. I did not go back because I am in a suck hole right now. And so...
Champ Bailey is never in a suck hole.
If it makes you feel
Lance
any better,
Hepler, that's a different, totally different.
From what I have heard from everybody who did race it, the race was a suck hole. So
was it wet? Wasn't it?
It was snowy.
brutal.
So 3-day race. The first day was an uphill gravel time trial, and the last 100 meters, most people ran because of the snow.
Okay.
Second day, there were several snow sections that were also unrideable that were choke points in the race, and people had to run.
So it all comes back to biking and running.
we would have crushed
Maybe a little
it.
swim.
We should have been out there.
The
The
third
snow
day
counts as a
comes back to
swim.
triathlon.
Yeah.
Yesterday was perfect weather. It was 70 degrees and gorgeous, and
Of course it was,
much more Central Oregon-ish.
Like
It's been a weird.
racing.
I mean, even for
brutal racing.
For May, this
This is weird.
It's been rainy
This
and
is
cold.
very, very weird. I've just been forcing it. I was like, I'm just gonna pretend like I'm going to train like usual spring. I'm going outside.
I better put a t-shirt on. It's nice out.
I jumped on
Shorts.
my TT bike last week. I was like doing the same work I usually would, drilling rain the entire time. Like, it's warm. Just tell yourself it's warm.
It's warm.
You get the flashback pictures in your camera, whatever app you're using, and I get that all the time. I use this app called Time Hop, and I look at that every
Yeah.
day, and it's showing
That
me
thing
pictures
sucks,
of
though,
like
sometimes.
a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it's like all of these like beautiful bike rides and stand-up paddleboarding.
This
and
Sunday
hiking
was
and
75
sun.
and sunny last year.
Yeah, and like I'm
that
looking
was the
outside and
actual
going,
weather.
what the hell?
Like,
What the hell, Mother Nature? Come on,
done.
knock it off.
Yeah, pretty crazy. The 3-day stage race was won by Stephen Mull, who was a gravel racer out of Seattle. Second was Cody Peterson, who is a Bend rider for Hutch's Bend Dental, I believe. And then third
very
was Jonathan Baker, so who is a over 40 like gravel pro guy who is also very good. The women were won by Serena Gordon. No big surprise. She's a Bend local and professional racer. Then Brenna Ree Simpson. She was Clara Hansinger's mechanic for a long time, but she races for the DNA Pro Cycling Team.
a fast mechanic.
Yeah, she's awesome. And then third was Sarah Burke. So also these are all local people.
Just
Our
Bend
own
people.
Our own Chris Hannell won the Masters division.
Man, strong
So,
right
Good
now.
on you, Chris.
Hannell's
We're
Hannell's
huge
becoming
fans.
one heck of a gravel racer. He really
Well,
is a strong gravel
Because
racer.
there hasn't been any other road races,
which
so
is
he's
great.
like, I'm gonna do
That's
gravel.
perfect. Yeah, just I mean,
What gravel bike
go
does he
for
have?
it.
He
Cervelo.
bought. He
bought a
found
Cervelo?
something online. I think. Yeah,
sure.
he found
Does he
something.
mountain bike? Could I convince Hannell to do a mountain bike race with me?
He has
Probably be
not.
good.
His daughter has a mountain bike, and they've done a little bit.
He'd
but
be fun.
He's been using it to
give
get some
2
off-road
hours on it.
experience. I don't know if he actually has a bike or if he's been borrowing one, but he's been riding sparingly.
Yeah.
The final stage yesterday was like a 75-mile gravel race with like 6,000 feet of climbing. And it was actually, yesterday's stage was won by Carl Decker, who's 50.
Wow.
And with, I don't know how long it was to go, but partway through the race, Carl was several minutes behind a lead pack of 15. And Carl pulled a Lance.
Oh,
And knew the course really well.
drilled the descent.
No, the top 15 people, somebody had removed a course marker, and the top 15 all went off course. Carl followed his GPS, stayed on course. The
Smart man.
The front
Smart
15
man.
had to do some bushwhacking to get back on course. Carl ended up winning by like 4 minutes.
Pays to have a Garmin.
Pays to have to download
Pays to
it.
be smart.
Pays
And
to
old.
have the route on your
You guys are all on Wahoo. You got to get a Garmin, guys.
Yeah.
Garment. Well,
I'm on
would
Wahoo.
still
Yeah,
work
Wahoo's
there as well. So that's
Also,
kinda
let's be
crazy.
honest, I wouldn't be in the lead group.
Let's be honest. It's not going to save you.
There was also a mountain bike race out at the coast. It was a sloppy mud fest where only about 2/3 of the starters finished the course because it was a little treacherous.
How did Paul
yesterday.
Paul was 3rd elite and 4th overall.
I'm not going to ride with. Me and Paul were just talking about planning a mountain bike ride together. I don't want to do that. He's going to
do? He's going to hurt you.
Oh, he's going to drop me so bad.
Yeah. Every time.
I'm just gonna have to tell him to slow down. I'm not sure if he can slow down to as slow
Nope,
as I'm going.
he can't.
No.
No.
He's like, I'm sorry, this is the pace.
You need to sit on his wheel just to learn what to
I
do.
do. I absolutely do. 100%.
You'll be fine on the easy parts in the hills.
Yes.
It's the
It's
descents
downhill.
that people
Forget
just
it. Gone.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
I don't think you should stay on his wheel. I think you're gonna hurt yourself.
I want to try to get good at mountain bike descending. It's fun. I just know that I'm not.
I just
Well,
don't want you to get hurt.
I'm not particularly good at it.
You only get good until you've gone over the
You do
bars a
lot.
dozen
Yes,
times.
exactly. I
Here's
know.
what you do.
That's what I'm not willing to risk at this point.
We've done
That does not help my triathlon season.
weeknight mountain bike rides, and it's kind of funny. Paul did this to himself. he showed up on an old classic rigid mountain bike. It was heavy. It
That's
was
what I
all
needed
kinds
to
of
be on so that I can be
No,
safer.
it wasn't full ridge. It was a hardtail because I remember it had a front fork on it. And he took it down this one
Red tape.
and it's got.
He took that red tape.
He's got.
Oh my god.
It's got jumps and doubles and berms
Yeah.
and the whole thing. And he sent it over one and sent it so hard that it blew out the shock. But even with Paul on that bike and I'm riding a full suspension, I still can't keep up with him. He's that good. He's that talented.
I will not.
And he's not scared of going. He's not scared of going down
No.
I will
we
also
are.
not
No.
be going
Should
down
be.
red tape with him. So
No. Stick to the.
I need a wide force access.
Don't go
roads.
chasing waterfalls. Stick to the. What is it? How's the song go?
Don't go chasing
Waterfalls.
waterfalls.
Stick to the something you're used to.
Please stick to the
Rivers
rivers and
and
the
Thank you.
lakes that you're used to. We're going with that late 90s
That's it.
look right now.
This is
Late 90s alternative music
This
with a
applies
dialed
to your mountain
podcast.
biking career.
It does.
The
It
song
does.
applies. Okay.
I'm gonna sing that in my head while I'm going downhill.
While you're doing red
Matt would
tape.
love this song.
Matt would be so proud of me.
More Radiohead.
Shout out to Terry Hamness who won the 50 division.
Whoa.
Good for him.
Attaboy.
He's having a year.
Terry.
He's having
So
a year.
super happy for him. A lot of people didn't show up because it was
It's
nasty.
nasty. Yeah.
It wasn't raining during the race, but the trail conditions were crap.
Yep.
They were not good.
We deserve an awesome summer.
That's enough. Champ out. I'm talking
Good.
this is
There we
Champ
go.
Bailey
Plenty.
out.
Watch it go from what we have right now to remember last summer when it was 115
110,
degrees
that's what I'm
for,
terrified of.
2 weeks
I just
straight.
don't want it. I don't want to have. I don't even. If it's hot,
I
that's
will
fine.
take
I don't want
this.
the.
I will take this over the 110. I don't care if it's this for another month. I do
I'm
not want
scared
110.
of like a fire
Shut your
season with smoke.
Yeah.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah.
Anyway.
gonna have it.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot.
Oh,
That's hot.
Guess what,
what
boys?
about all the triathlon news?
That's hot. Too soon. Forest fire talk and then straight into hot seat.
Hot seat.
That was planned.
That's true.
Where's the rewind button?
There isn't one.
Was there any triathlon news? Did you guys have news?
There was a race in LA. We can skip it.
The Herbalife 100 or LA Olympic distance triathlon.
Did you
Next
watch
year,
it?
I'm doing so many
Are you doing
pro
it next year?
Olympic races next year. Yeah, I'm doing Olympic distance a lot next year.
That's awesome.
That and
I think that'd be
73,
great.
man.
I think you'll have fun.
Olympic and
Wait.
73. That's all I do now.
Are you doing
It's gonna be fun.
73? Are you doing Olympic racing? Are you doing mountain bike racing? Are you doing road racing? Are you doing cat
And
free
cross
racing?
country. I'm
Are you
doing cross country running. I'm
Which
doing
is
the
it, Evan?
Stumptown series actually, Matt. I'm jumping into that this year. The 8Ks.
That's gonna be so much fun.
What about master swimming? Do you qualify for master swimming yet?
I need to do master swim, but I'll tell you
Master
what.
swimming is where you draw the line.
There is. I
Gotta draw the line somewhere.
I need to do that, but let's be. I am more in a mountain bike race comfortable than I would be in a master swimming race.
Hot seat.
Hot seat.
Who wants to go first?
I got one.
Go.
Okay.
There was an Omnium, a road race Omnium that happened down in the Eugene, Oregon area this
Right.
weekend. It
Austin.
Austin went.
Yeah, he went down there.
We had some teammates that were down there. Chris Surratt went.
Nice.
It was very poorly attended.
Oh no,
And so I was sent this question by a listener.
that was a tough weekend for it to be on. Just crowded bike
Well,
racing weekend.
There was a mountain bike race,
Gravel race.
and there was a gravel race that
Yeah.
competed with it. Eric Mills, he sent me this question. And I don't know. He found me on Instagram and then just he messaged DM me on
The gram.
The gram.
He slid into your DMs.
It's just one of Lance's hundreds of DMs that he gets, and this one popped out
I have
for him.
almost 1,000 followers. How about that?
Seriously?
On Instagram.
Okay, so
That little verified little check mark. thing on
Yeah,
there.
true.
We have to
No.
get you on the check
I'm
marks.
nobody. This is from Eric Mills. I missed the heyday of bike racing in Obra and looking to the recent participation of the races in Eugene, the Chili Crow Time Trials, and the Rally in the Valley Omnium. What do you think is keeping Portlanders at home instead of making the trip to Eugene? We're trying to do our part down here to keep bike racing alive in Oregon. What do you think we're missing?
Weather.
Eugene is about a 2-hour drive from the Portland area.
It's not the drive; it's
I
the
don't
weather.
think it's the drive.
People are not going to. If there's a chance of rain, people are not going to show up and do a time trial.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think.
I agree with Matt. I do think this is a little bit of carryover from the pandemic, where I think people became very okay with not going to things.
Yep.
And I think that we need some time for people to realize that, hey, if you want to be a part of a community, that means showing up. So if we want to keep road racing alive, they're going to go away. This is why I don't, we can get into, everybody's going to have an excuse all the time. So it's like, it's until people realize, like, no, me going to this is actually important for the community at large. Until that happens, this pandemic attitude is going to continue and it's going to kill road racing.
Well, has it already killed road racing? How many road races are on the Ober calendar?
That's a great question, JG.
There's one this Saturday, Sunday.
Isn't there only like?
Right?
Isn't there like 2 total?
No, hold on. There's the Banana Belt, which is
this Sunday.
Okay.
We've got Baker City Cycling Classic.
Okay,
and then we've got
what's the weekend that Baker City is?
That's
It's
your wedding.
Okay, so I can't make that.
No, you probably can't make that one.
Sneak it in. You're good.
And then
Sneak it in.
There's Independence the weekend before that.
That's a Washington State WSBA race.
Oh, my bad.
And
Okay,
then the last one is going to be Kings Valley, which was supposed to be in April, but then they moved it to August, and supposedly it's the state championship road race, but who knows if it's actually going to go off or not.
So 2 or 3.
Two to
that
three.
goes
Yeah.
off,
It's not an insane amount of races.
No.
That is an amazingly low amount of races.
No, there are some crits on the schedule, but like your traditional
road races.
Yeah, that there's not much to.
So that can't be. I can't blame that on the rain. So
No.
I think something else is going on too. Maybe to Evan's point of pandemic.
Well, it's also coming down to Obra. I mean, I don't know how openly can we speak on this how
race directors.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
race event promoters.
The
not wanting to
cost
put
of
them on.
putting on a road race is significantly higher than putting on a gravel race, just because you have to shut down roads and have flaggers and have
I also
police
don't like to
presence.
blame the race directors because it's like,
Sure. No. It's not their fault.
I know. I'm just saying because I agree with you.
You and I could be race promoters and put on a race and put it on the calendar.
I think it's Obra's job to make an environment where a race director can consistently put on races comfortably, and clearly Obra's not doing a good job of that. I'm not in on the here, but I mean, but Matt and I can speak from triathlon. Triathlon right now, coming out of the pandemic, is doing its darndest. I mean, it really is.
I think it looks good.
And the duathlon, the Spring Classic had great show out for why.
Real quick here, though.
Yeah.
That's why racing putting that on. That's why
It's all
racing
why
doing
racing.
that.
It's all why.
USA Triathlon.
Well, then Blair too. You know, Blair's putting on good races here.
Blair puts on good races.
Best in the West.
Well, and Ironman's doing okay.
Yeah, Ironman's turned a lot of good races.
Those promoters are the ones that are doing all the work. They're doing the legwork and getting the word out there.
Yeah, it's the Carissa's of the world. Yeah.
So is USA Triathlon doing anything to promote that?
USA Triathlon actually has. So this is just from a buddy of mine from Colorado who was talking about this. USA Triathlon is indirectly also like killing some of these races because they're charging the same amount for their insurance and not realizing that the environment has changed and trying to help.
Yeah.
So is USA Cycling probably doing that too? My guess is
Possibly,
I mean, speaking outside of Oprah, I think that also
yeah.
the reason nationally road racing is dying is probably because USAC is like, we still need to make money, and they're not realizing that like, dude, if
should be helping.
You need to be helped. Like right now, who cares what your bottom line is? Nobody's feeling bad about you. You need to keep this alive right now.
Now, USA Triathlon is doing some cool stuff, though. I mean, like just the grants that they're putting out there for even for our team that's benefiting directly from that, from the monies that are coming in for us to help put juniors into the race scene.
And they've had a lot of money allocated towards that coming out of the pandemic. I was hearing them talk about that they're pushing a lot of that money now because they realize they need people to be getting into triathlon. So they're like, we're going to spend on that, which is good on them. Good.
So they're doing that, but USA Cycling's not doing anything like that. Obra's not doing anything like that. Me personally, I think in this juncture, I think that all of the race organizations and the promoters need to kind of like get a dry erase board, wipe it clean, and start over with a whole new like, how are we going to do this? So
can they all just leave Obra? I mean, can everybody just be like, we're just going to go like USAC, or we're?
Oh, they can, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know that it's expensive to pay for your own insurance. I get that.
It's not that much more. It really is not that much.
Then what
more.
does Obra give them? This is a question.
Exposure.
A format to a calendar to list races on.
Well, they're doing that poorly because if that stage race just had very few showing up, I'd be mad if I was that race director at Obra.
So was that
you're my marketer?
Was that an Obra thing or was that a weather thing?
Yeah.
Or is it because it is 2 hours away from?
It's sometimes you have to ask your question too: is Obra a race promoter, or are they just a conduit to getting insurance? Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a great question. I don't know.
I think that they think of themselves as more than an insurance group.
And I would agree with you, but if they're
seem
going
to
to
be
think of
operating as
themselves
an
that
insurance
way, I
group.
think that they need to do more. They need to do more to bring the community
Step it
together.
up.
They need to do more to help the race promoters out. You know, you've got the likes of like WSBA that's up there forward thinking about like how can we help mitigate the costs that go into putting on a road race
that's
so
all they
that the
yeah.
promoter can be successful, so that they will put the race on again next year. I mean,
Yeah.
things like flaggers and porta potties. You'd be amazed. Those two stupid things,
much cost.
how much they
So many
cost.
costs.
The
Yeah.
Michael Myers time trial that we put on, I think we spent like $700 on 2 porta potties. $700.
You only had 2 porta potties?
There was a third one there, so we kind of like we capitalized on the fact that there was already
already one there.
I mean, if that cost keeps on going up, pretty soon Lance is going to have to pull up his RV. We're going to have to be like, use Lance's bathroom in there. Don't
Yeah.
worry. He's
I
got a
don't,
little,
I don't have a bathroom.
he has 2 buckets.
No,
Flaggers.
there's a bucket. We'll make it
there's a
work.
men's
I
and a
got a
women's
shovel
bucket.
and a bush.
We'll make it work.
Just pull up the RV to block and then just be like, don't worry, there's a hole out back.
So for flaggers, you know how much those yahoos are charging per hour?
What?
$45 an hour. Nope. 100%. That's what we paid.
$45 an hour.
And if you're putting on a road race, it's not uncommon to have like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 flaggers, depending upon where you're at.
I missed a turn in a race once because a flagger was sitting in a chair. Are you kidding me?
Do the math at how fast that adds up, and then you've got
I'd like
to
you to
add
pay me
into
back for
that.
that hour.
You've got your insurance. You've got to add into that the permits that you
The
need
costs
to
are
get.
crazy.
And the cities are all like the bigger the municipality, the bigger the cost on all that's going to be, and it just keeps.
Well, and then like David Rue was talking about, that downtown crit. Did they charge him for the parking meter loss?
Correct.
Which is insane because they're not open on the those parking meters you can't even pay on the weekend.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I mean that's
That's crazy.
Municipalities just
Yeah.
putting their hands in your pocket.
Yep.
Their hands in your pocket. Yep. Trying to.
yeah, and I think that we've beat this dead horse before on like the cities
Sure.
don't support this and that's ridiculous. Shame on the cities, but we know that's politics and they're going to be awful people because that's they're really good at being awful people. So.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that are problematic, and I think that so many things have happened, and we're so far down the road. It's just like you can't go back and undo these things. You kind of need to just like wipe the board clean. You need to wipe the slate clean, start over, and talk about like what can we do to help each other out. And WSB is kind of doing some of that stuff. And I think Obra needs to do the same. Yeah, I don't want. You guys have all heard me go off on this so many times. I don't want to do that right now, but there's a lot of things that they could definitely do to help the race promoters out, and so interesting.
Agreed.
Does that answer Eric was his name? Question.
Eric Mills? Probably not.
Probably not.
Sorry, Eric.
I don't think we did a good job. We don't have to do a good job on the hot seat questions, do we? No.
Are we getting graded on this?
I think this is a C.
We just
Probably
lost a
D.
listener.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. None of us went to this race. Like, there's a time trial and there's a crit. Those are probably
been cool.
some things. I was just talking about this to Lance. Crit racing should be my jam. I mean, let's be honest.
that's true.
That should be something that I should be doing. But I'm a nervous Nelly when it comes to everything now because of my stupid shoulder. And the last thing I want to do is go down in a crit because that happens all the time. And then all of a sudden my shoulder's busting up. And not only am I not riding again, but when your doctor's last words were, last time you saw him, like, there's a good chance that if you hurt this again, you're going to have a shoulder replacement surgery. I'm like, dude, I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One doc's opinion, though.
But let's just put all that aside. Let's pretend like that didn't happen. Why did none of us go down there? And, Matt's hurt too. And Evan was bachelor partying, and Lance was in a hole.
Granted, don't get me wrong. I would not be above just making my bachelor party at a bike race, to be honest.
That's
but
true.
Here was the other reason. I didn't know that was even going on.
Because you don't look at the Obra calendar.
I get the emails from them.
That's not the same thing
I don't
as
check it.
looking at the Obra calendar. Yeah.
So
I mean, but also,
Is Obra irrelevant?
But if I'm a marketer, I shouldn't have to go to a link to a calendar. It should be popping up on my feeds.
You know what?
I follow them on everything, like on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm on their email list.
The promoter and Obra need to do a better job of building this up. They need to advertise it better. They need to have video. They need to have pictures. They need to have stuff out there.
Have you guys seen? Okay,
I'm
now
pretty sure I got an email.
How about this?
Did you?
From Obra.
Here's my next question.
There's a good chance I did.
Post race, have you guys seen a ton of photos that make you want to do this thing next year?
No.
I
you
didn't
seen
know
any?
it happened until Lance told me.
You haven't seen
No,
anything?
I haven't seen any.
Lance, have you seen any? Like, I want to do this.
I was also out of
not-
cell service on Saturday and Sunday, so I'm
Monday.
probably not a good example of this.
I've seen some, but like on Instagram or on Facebook.
And they were
that's
posted
what I
by the
mean,
people
yeah.
who were there, not the event organizer,
I
correct?
think I follow Twilight Operations, who is a race promoter.
Right.
And I think they posted some pictures.
Okay.
Anyone else? Did
Now
it look
from-
like? Was it like? Oh, I got to do this next
Now
year.
from the
Look how epic
start,
this looks.
now from the
Look like,
starting
why was nobody
spring
there? If I wanna
classic
win a race, I
duathlon,
should
how
go.
many pictures hit your feed?
How many people are talking right now?
Yeah, from the spring classic duathlon from Y. Let's compare it to Y. How many
Yeah.
of those pictures hit your feed?
Oh, a lot.
Like for a week, right?
Probably 100 photos total.
Yeah. Like it was all over my feed.
Through my feed. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, I've always
Just
That's all our
comparing
friends.
promoter, yeah.
You got to celebrate the people that come out there, all the way down to like the slowest category when the most
Yep.
unexperienced
Yeah,
person, and you
absolutely.
got to tell a story. You got to make that human connection, and I just don't think that anybody around here does a really good job of that in the cycling world. They're maybe a little bit on the gravel side of things, and
only Carissa.
You
I think Gravel's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is.
You know who's doing a good job right now?
Ultra running does a great job at this.
Ultra running does a good job.
I keep track of ultra running, and I have never done an ultra run before.
Me too. Me too. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I was like, Ryan's
so
killing
good.
it right now. Ryan Cotton. I'm like, oh man, these are exciting.
Somebody who's doing a good job right now. He was just here with us last week, Scott Schultz.
Yep.
He's making the rounds. So he's coming on our podcast. He was on Quap Face 2's little thing last week and
He was.
having fun doing that. He's doing social media stuff. He's out there talking and he's laying a really good foundation.
Well, and this
he's
is
somebody
probably why those mountain bike and gravel races did better this last weekend in general. I think that just that world is doing a better job right now of doing exactly what you're talking about.
Mike Ripley does a very good job of this as well. He posts up a lot of great video, commentary, pictures,
does.
and his events do extremely well. So we need to take a page out of the book of those two gentlemen, and you need to apply that to the different disciplines and the different races around here.
How do you feel like we did on the time trial? Because that was our baby. I mean, your baby, not mine.
We
but
did okay. I don't think
feel
it was
like we really-
fantastic. I was doing a lot of paid like posts and sponsored posts and stuff like that, and we were putting the word out there. And it's an early season tryout or an early season
TT.
Yeah, the weather
You guys
was
feel like
threatened to be bad.
you feel like your feed was full of time trial pictures or anything like that? Maybe we should do more.
Oh, we could definitely do more. Always do more.
Mine was, but I had probably a biased feed towards that. So
Yeah, we all have. We would have a biased feed towards that.
it was also like I knew that was happening for a long time before, so that was very much on my calendar.
Our numbers were not fantastic by any means at all, and I think that we could learn from that. I think that we could do a better job as well. Just like
I'm just
everybody
thinking, after the race, are people looking at that and saying, "I'm going to do that next year"?
That's the biggest thing.
I don't know, and I don't know the answer to that.
else. And here's another thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, just a little bit. Like Oprah's got the attention of a lot of these people. It supposedly has this giant, massive email system. They've got their social media. They've got
Clearly
all
we're
the
all
things.
checking it.
And one of the things was like, hey, we asked them like, would you guys be opposed to sending out one more email like the day before, letting people know that it's chip timed, it's day of registration, the weather's looking like it's going to be good. We're still looking to fill a bunch of spots. Help us promote it a little bit more. No, sorry, we're not going to send that out. We don't want to make people upset that they're going to receive another email from us and have them unsubscribe from our list. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
they sent
I'd
out
be
a week.
so angry at that.
They sent out an email like a week prior, and that was it. And that was all they were willing to do for us. And I just don't necessarily agree with that. I think that when you're getting down to crunch time and there's some information that you want to get put out there, like we were the first organization to put on a time trial with race chip timing.
Yep.
We were, doing a bunch of other stuff, trying to raise money. We were giving away a ton of prizes, and we were trying to make it really fun. And that kind of fell on deaf ears. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to do it because they didn't want to alienate their list of people who are supposedly subscribed to want to know about bike racing stuff. So anyway, that's
And I'll tell you what, for a big email list, that's not a lot of people showing up to races. So I wouldn't be as concerned as how big my email
that's
list
true.
is.
Maybe the email list is falling on deaf ears.
maybe that could be it.
That'd be my guess.
A lot of Hotmail accounts on there.
Lance, who was that? One more time, who asked the question?
Eric Mills.
Eric Mills.
Thank you, Eric.
You gotta listen naked.
That was so hot, you gotta listen naked. Good question, Eric.
Takes me weeks for that one.
Awesome. All right, well, that was a good question. That could be a whole. Maybe that could be a whole podcast topic, but I don't know.
Again,
I'll
yeah.
get in trouble.
I know we went for a long time.
I've got a super short yes or no one.
Go
Okay.
for it.
Does
No.
Egan Bernal start in the Tour de France of 2022?
I think we got like a bottle of wine bet on this or something.
Go, Matt. Yeah, I would
The answer,
gladly take a
I'm
go.
going to stick with what I said before, which is no.
Jake,
No.
Lance.
I'm going to say whatever the opposite of what you're going to say, Evan. So
I
I'm gonna
say yes.
So no.
So it is 1 versus 3. Now I want to be very, very clear. When I win this bet, I would like you all to get me a nice bottle of wine. I'm talking the $8 to $12 range.
Yes, we're
Like
in on that. If Egan Bernal starts, I am buying you a bottle of wine.
That eye level shelf type stuff.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah. The good stuff.
The good stuff. I want $9.75 for that Merlot.
Whoa.
Merlot.
All right. Pushing it to the limit. $9.75.
Hey,
We'll see.
This is going over my head. Is that not much for a bottle of wine?
It is not much.
It's
Lance, I'd like a cup of coffee too.
Yeah, you can I think maybe
Actually, Lance, I would just take energy drinks if you want to give me
probably
energy
like
drinks.
normal, maybe for a bottle of wine might be like $14 at the grocery store when you're just grabbing some wine, like not great wine.
Okay.
Like
If you close your eyes and picks, you'd probably get a $14 bottle. of
maybe
wine.
yeah, something like that. So yes, we'll get you a bottle of wine at a reasonable price.
Nice.
More importantly,
Yes.
and more realistically, does he start the Vuelta? And we talked about
Yeah.
that.
I think he will start the Vuelta.
Okay, what about you, Lance?
Yes.
I think there's more of a chance he'll start that.
That's not what we asked you. It's yes or no question.
No.
No.
That's what I was going to say too. No.
No. I'm going to jump on this one.
Yes,
Kevin. I'm gonna say
50-50.
Vuelta bound.
Yep.
He's got
It'd be great. I would love for him. I mean,
I track him
weeks.
daily. He's, I mean, let me put it this way. If his body is even moderately capable of doing it, this kid is going to push to make it happen. He likes racing his bicycle a lot.
Laying down what's hot.
Boom.
That was hot.
Was that
hot question. All right, I got
recognize that voice.
another one that kind of falls on the same thought process here. Tour de France winners. However, this is not like just a Tour de France because we're going to have a whole podcast about that.
Yeah.
Tour de France winners, wrong answers only.
Okay, yes. Love this.
Wrong
Egan
answer.
Bernal.
Okay.
That was my answer.
Anyone
You just
else?
took my answer.
Egan
I'll
Bernal.
go the
Can I say Mark Cavendish for the green?
Cavendish,
There you
yes. Well, you can, just Cavendish is good enough.
only
Yes.
because I love how he's doing the Giro and nobody wants to try to do the Giro tour double. Roman Bardet.
Roman Bardet.
Roman Bardet.
Is he doing the double?
I probably not.
He
but I
probably would feel pressure to do it.
Here's a big outsider I'd love to see happen. Thibaut Pinot. I'd love to see Pinot somehow.
That's a
come
fun
back.
one for wrong answers only also.
Yeah,
Because
it is.
he's had such bad luck.
He's had the worst luck of any cyclist in this era.
Oh, it's good.
He's got him lined up. He's got like,
I don't know. Come on.
Hot seat question.
he's got like 400.
All right.
of these. Jake, go.
This is the question right here.
Is that bacon?
It's popping. What's popping?
Is that
All right.
actual audio?
Hey, all right. So there is a lot of stuff going on and out there. There's bike teams that are out there racing, and people are getting like little secret, like photos of different like tech that might be coming out, that might be new stuff that we're seeing. What's something out there that you're super curious about, or you're that you've seen that you might want to, I don't know, add to your own bike? Or just it doesn't even have to necessarily be with the bike. It could be anything in the cycling.
I've got some cool stuff.
Go for it.
Okay, so there's this like rear hub that basically doubles your gearing, so you can eliminate your front derailleur.
One that I saw too.
That looks amazing, and it's all built into the hub. And so you hit this like switch, and I think it's like Bluetooth or something. Like it like connects wirelessly to the hub, and it switches this thing, and it basically is doubling your gearing. Super cool. Very interesting.
Relatively lightweight too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it was super expensive. I'm hearing.
I'm sure.
Possibly.
I'm sure.
That could be very interesting, and the fact that they're coming up with any reason that they can to get rid of front derailleurs and switch people over to one by and make certain bikes obsolete so they can sell more bikes. I think that you might even see that sooner than later.
I mean, think about it. You're talking like 24 different gears without a front derailleur. Like that would be
pretty
crazy.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
But I do think that 12 gears is pretty solid on a
12
one
gears
bike.
is 12 gears is great.
Except 14's better. And then 18's better.
14's better.
24
But then doubling all of those things is just super interesting. I think
Infinite gears.
Well, if it doubles, you could have 11 and not have to, and not be such a big jump for your chain. And
You could take your one by time trial bike out on your favorite 22% gravel mountain bike trail.
yes, correct.
You can drop weight too if you're figure out whatever that golden ratio is, and like if you can go from 12 down to like 7, and you've got that internal hub thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if you kept your front derailleur, you could have 44
Oh wow.
44 gears.
You
How
know,
interesting
Also
is that?
true. That's interesting.
Every time I've been on
It's
a
not
ride
that big of a
and
deal to have a
hit-
front derailleur.
and
We've
hit
all got
Lake
them.
Road, every single time I've hit Lake Road on my ride home, I'm like, you know what I need? 43
44.
more gears than the one that I have
feel
right
like,
now.
I feel like if you had that, it's really only going to help you on like descents where you're going straight down a cliff.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking it would be the other direction.
Or straight up the cliff, maybe. But you might run out of gear. So we probably need another iteration on top of that.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that.
What about just like getting those little tweeners? Like you get the like, I'm mashing just a little bit too much, or I'm spinning a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Maybe it tightens up the gear ratio so the jumps are just that much more precise.
I mean, I'm sure this would be efficient. Like if we're talking like watt loss over a 40K, if you're like hitting some hills, I'm sure there's benefit to this. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not sure if my ability to think through that process when my heart rate's at 175 would be even worth that amount of gearing.
It's
In my head, I would just be like, mash the gear. Just mash it right now.
It's real. I really think it's going to be the same thing as a front derailleur. Like you hit a switch and your front derailleur changes, right? I mean, how much thinking is
And you
there
have
of that?
another
And so-
12 gears at your disposal right there.
What if you programmed in what you wanted your cadence and your power to be,
That's where this gets cool.
and then you just ride and it does everything
automatically
for you?
shifts. Yep.
Like an erg mode for your bicycle would be pretty stinking
It
awesome.
would be very awesome, actually.
Or automatic transmission on any cars that we've seen in the past 20 years. I mean, this is kind of what cars do, right? Like you don't think about shifting. It just does it for you.
Yep.
Under the hood.
That's the direction I think everything's going. Yeah.
Maybe.
Crazy.
I don't know. People like control.
What's some other tech, boys? That was
All right,
Matt's.
I got another one.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I can do this all
he's
day.
gonna steal them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't want to steal anyone's.
I was just going to make fun of a bike, so go ahead.
There's this air pressure thing that's also hub based that they were talking about doing at which
talked about that.
Paris-Roubaix.
Yeah.
At Paris-Roubaix.
The team ended up not.
They ended up
using
not doing it,
Yes.
which I was actually disappointed in. But that was one of the reasons that I got paid for flow bikes, and then they didn't have the race. It was just a big mess. But in the hub, there's this pressurized thing, and you can lower the pressure of your tires while you're racing and raise the pressure of your tires while racing.
Adjust the tire pressure on the go.
So Paris-Roubaix, right?
Yeah.
The first,
That would be
I don't
so-
remember if it's like 60 kilometers of racing is
That would
all
be
road.
almost
You could
cheating
ride.
if a team had that and other teams didn't have that.
Right, that's what they were. They said it was completely legal. They could.
That's
This
nuts.
team
That's
could
legal.
have used it.
They got
This team could have
clearance.
used
They
it.
got clearance to use
clearance
it,
to
and
use it.
ultimately
They decided
didn't
not to.
use it for the race.
Give the UCI 2 months, and that'll be the next. I mean, they've already banned the super tug.
Well, no,
They're
the
gonna allow
UCI,
it.
the UCI allowed it.
They're
They
gonna
looked
allow
at
it.
it.
Really?
Yeah, they looked at it and said, "Yeah, you can use this."
And
But
so
I don't know what the reason why. I don't remember what the reason was why
That's
they didn't use it.
nuts, because
The
that'd
team
be
didn't
such
use
a
it.
huge
right.
advantage.
So Paris-Roubaix, everyone's rolling around on
Yeah.
like 40, 30, 40 psi.
Yeah.
You could go 80 for the first whatever. Isn't it like road for
Yeah,
first.
there's a lot of
60
road in
kilometers?
No, but there's like
It's-
18 sectors of
Yep.
of
Cobbles,
pave.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, you're
cobble
just switching
sections,
back and
so you could
forth.
switch back and forth.
I know. I mean, that to
Unless
me.
you forgot. Could you imagine you forgot and all of a sudden you hit the force of Arnberg at 80 psi?
And then, yeah, I mean, you'll remember immediately. But that to me, that's like the coolest tech. I mean, it's just neat, and I think that would be really interesting. I mean, I guess both of those things that I mentioned are things that I'd be extremely excited about seeing
Now,
on the bike.
cycling purist here. How angry do old Belgian people get about the potential that you wouldn't even have to think about the gearing that you choose or the PSI that you're using? Let's say this all becomes automated.
It's all automated.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
The bike
there's
just
Pave.
like-
we know the course. Pave's
Yeah.
coming up here.
You don't even have to switch it. It just becomes this thing where it's
that'd
like,
be nice.
oh, on this course there's Pave coming up here. Let me decrease this for you because of this app. So like, I mean, what if that because how
I love
many?
that idea.
I mean, they got already splits being yelled into their ears, which old Belgians already hate.
Does this ruin the race?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. To me, it kind of does.
No, it doesn't.
it
Just
kind of
brings
does a
tech in.
little bit. To
Okay,
me.
if
I'll
people,
be the old
you know
fan
what
here.
might ruin the race is if people stop. Like if there are no bike problems, if people roll through every Pave section, there's
Yeah,
no
right.
issues. Then it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
'cause
there should be.
Bike
That's
problems make the race. I mean, they do in Paris-Roubaix, definitely.
that is a gnarly. Some of those things, I don't even know how they ride over those things.
That's amazing.
Like, they're nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
I would want a mountain bike.
It's
No joke.
It's not even comfortable on a mountain bike.
No.
It's just gross.
The fact that these guys ride over that on road bikes just blows my mind every
Yeah.
year. But yeah.
It's pretty cool. Evan, you said you have one. Go for it.
Yes, I do. All right. Matt, you and I are the only two that are going to care about this. Will Lionel Sanders ever win a full Ironman world championship?
Is this a hot seat question or is this like a tech answer for Jake's thing? You already had a hot seat question.
Lionel Sanders isn't a bit of tech. This is a hot seat question.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, all right.
We're
So
switching.
We're moving on.
Oh,
huh?
wait. I thought you said question to me, not.
No, we were going around the table to talk about tech, but
Oh, for me. Well, that's a mute point. My tech. I need a new cassette on my mountain bike. Anybody got suggestions?
Good luck.
I don't know.
I need a 51.
Probably hard to find.
I need a 51. What's the coolest 51 out there?
They don't make a 51. It's a 52 or a 50.
I thought it was a 51.
No.
Okay, 52. So I need I need whatever the most teeth I can get.
There's a
Fine for
52.
climbing.
There's a 52.
find a 52
Okay.
and bust a tooth off it. Yeah.
Apparently, Telluride has a 3-mile climb that averages. This is the average, not the max rate. The average is 20%.
What?
It averages 20%
How
for
far
3
is it?
miles.
How far is it? 3 miles?
3 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
So-
believe that.
I need a
I know.
52.
That doesn't. Those numbers don't
They
add
will
up, do
have
they?
segments.
This is
that
also
are over
coming from
20.
people that live in Colorado. And if you ever talk to somebody who like rides bikes in Colorado, this was our whole joke over the weekend with Kit, who you've all met, Kit.
Yep.
Anytime we ever said like, man, this is a good view, we're like, but I'll tell you what, it's definitely nothing like Colorado. In Colorado, you got at least 12 mountains that look 20 times better than this, and our roads are all so much harder. That's just the thing at Colorado. You know, it's like everything in Colorado is harder. But I actually think that was the actual stat on this climb. I need to look up the actual Strava file.
You're gonna have
but
to report back after that race. Hopefully, you'll be alive.
I think that climb is the reason that people say Telluride is way harder than Leadville, which is why I'm probably going to die on this. So,
Yep. Again,
So I
what's
need
the
a
over-under
52.
and how many times Evan crashes?
so I need a 52. Where do I get a 52, and what's the best
You
one?
just have to. Good luck is what I'm saying.
getting stuff, equipment right now.
Actually, getting mountain bike cassettes are very difficult right now. You're going to overpay for one.
you
You're
need
going to have to
cassettes.
find one online somewhere, and you're going to overpay for it.
Jay,
because-
can I get a mountain bike cassette?
You can't find them either.
Is it 10 or 11 speed?
I'll look it up tonight and text you.
I
think it's 11.
I might have one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I would overpay for it.
Yeah. I'll check before we leave, and I'll let you know what I have.
That's someone right
Okay,
now
cool.
calling to buy that.
It's gone.
They heard.
Hey, do you have a
They already
52?
heard.
Yeah.
Dang it. Sorry, Evan.
I call dibs right now.
Dibs.
Dibs has been called.
Before we talk about this whole Lionel Sanders thing, Lance, did you have any tech that you wanted to?
I'm excited about anything that is potentially coming out with integrated cameras.
Yes.
Isn't the
Well,
Varia- isn't
this
the Varia
podcast comes
coming
out
out?
on Wednesday.
Wednesday. So stuff with integrated cameras could be very cool.
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Matt, when is the Varia
enough.
coming out with its new camera?
No,
know.
we didn't say that.
You guys
Can't-
didn't say
No one
We
knows.
didn't say the Varia word.
We didn't say that. So what other headsets are you talking about? Does Wahoo have one? Lance?
Cyclique.
That whole
There's a
just got
cyclic.
bleeped.
There's
That
a
just got
cyclic.
bleeped.
There's a cyclic camera thing. It would be cool if Garmin did something similar.
What is
Would be
Cyclique?
cool if
Is that a
Garmin did
computer?
Cyclic does this like
The light.
rear camera with a light on the back.
No radar.
Gotcha.
though.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
What about, do you guys need, God knows how much these things cost, a fairing, a little aerodynamic fairing that goes over your jockey wheels, your pulley wheels on your
yeah, you
rear
do.
wheel? Do you guys
need
need that in your life?
You need it.
I've
seen-
All
have you seen that?
triathletes
I
need
could
that.
need that. I could use that.
Have you
Yeah.
seen those
I have
popping
not
up?
seen this now.
Yeah.
Well, they just got released at the. I think they talked about them at Ironman St. George.
Oh, they did. I do
Yeah,
remember you talking.
it's basically
Yep.
it's basically a fairing for your derailleur hanger.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Is that like a 2-watt difference? What's the deal?
Dude,
Probably
with how
2 to
fast
5.
these guys are
Yeah.
going,
Okay,
though, those
Evan's
2
gonna
watts are
know
important.
Over 112 miles, how much time does
112?
2 watts save you?
Yeah, a decent amount. You're probably talking a minute for 2 watts.
Probably not, but it's
10
probably
seconds.
Even if it was like 20 or 30 seconons.
it's probably
big
in that.
difference.
It's probably somewhere between 10 and
Lionel Sanders had to sprint down Braden Curry. I think he would have taken 30 seconds on
Yep.
aero advantage.
Yeah. So that and dropper posts on road bikes.
dropper
post
posts
is
on
really
road
cool,
bikes would be
yeah.
well. They're doing it right. Dropper posts on road bikes. It's happening.
It's not mainstream yet. It's not something that the
Well,
manufacturers are
It
releasing.
happened
But it's
in Milan San
in
Remo.
Remo.
Will it be
But-
at the tour?
ooh.
That's a good question.
question.
Well, you've got
It's-
these
it's
bikes that
possible.
are already
Maharich
so
will be
stinking-
riding it no matter what.
They're so light that they're having to put weight into them so that they make the UCI minimum.
which
so
is 17
now you can
pounds.
go.
What is it? 16?
No, it's like 14.
No, it's like 14
Oh,
and
is
a
it that?
half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've got
Really?
bikes
that light? I thought it was like 16 or 17.
We've had bikes
That
in the
is
lab
so
here
light.
that weigh 11 pounds, and so to throw a dropper post in there, you'd still be underneath the UCI legal limit.
Then you get some
14
disc. Then you throw the disc brakes on there. That adds weight. if we're
14
being
pounds
honest.
is so light, too. Like, I mean, does the bike really need to be that much lighter than 14 pounds?
Well, that's just the limit. They'll
Yeah.
be on the limit.
What is like
Right.
the I mean, what's the lightest bike you've heard of?
11 pounds.
11,
I've
yeah.
we had one.
It was
that
like
weighed 11
probably
11
like
pounds.
the Trecamonda thing.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Guyman's bike probably weighed close to that. I mean, he did everything to
Ridiculous,
try and make it.
yeah.
Yeah.
he probably
He was
really
probably
did.
10 pounds, I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can
That was a very light bike. I remember we
Chop.
did the video on that.
chop some weight.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So hot.
So hot. Okay, Lionel Sanders.
Yes.
No, he's not going to win or world championship.
Jake, I know you actually watched World Championship, or at least some of it.
Lionel Sanders
So
is
you
going to
think
win.
that
Full
man-
Ironman?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Sure. Yeah.
There you go. Jake says yes. Lance.
No.
No.
Didn't he take second?
Norwegian.
No, he won.
He
no,
got
he
second.
got second place. But
He's
how,
been-
by how much?
It was
It was enough if it got 5 minutes.
yeah, 4 or 5
But,
minutes.
4 or
but
5 minutes.
one
4
Norwegian
minutes.
didn't even race.
How old is he?
This is true. He is, oh, that's a great question. 32?
33?
I think he's 33.
Okay, that sounds right.
What is he missing in his whole regimen? Does he have
Swimming.
Swimming, but his swimming is getting better.
His swim coach used to coach yours truly.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Aqua Bears, man.
The Aqua Bears.
Yep,
So
yep.
he was the coach at Lackamas Swimming Sport. Justin Slade, do you remember him?
I remember
heck
that
of a
name.
guy.
Do you?
I
Yeah.
drove-
Okay.
drove
So
by
I
this
thought
morning.
He is like the
That place
most
doesn't
famous
exist
swim
anymore.
coach in triathlon
Yeah.
right now because he coaches the Ora Valley crew
Wow.
right now. Yeah, the Swim Bear, the Swim Bears
Oh,
Club.
the guys in Tucson.
Yeah.
So
ton of
he
pros,
moved
ton of
from
pros now.
Lackamas,
Heather Jackson,
and
all
then
them.
started his own pool in Tucson.
Yeah.
And all the pros use him for some
Here's-
reason. Totally random.
Here's the reason that I actually don't think it's the swim for him. The only reason I think that is his gap now from where he's at to that front group where it matters is too big. He'll never bridge that in his career. It's too much.
If he had
That bridge is just not gonna happen.
If he was a great swimmer, he probably would have had a world championship by now.
Yes.
Title.
Oh yeah.
Can
Agreed.
you like
Definitely.
surgically implant webbing in your hands and your feet? Is that legal?
But the
legal.
funny
If
thing
it's
is,
your own skin, like
there's like the more and more I'm in triathlon, I even meet these guys that, I mean, like Henry Schuman's a good example. I know you guys don't know him, but like Henry Schumann is like the same exact build and size as Lionel, basically, and is an amazingly fast swimmer. I think it's just like if you didn't do it really fast
Yep.
when you were young,
Yep.
bridging to that elite level is darn near impossible. Not
agree.
completely impossible, but basically impossible.
It's pretty much impossible.
You're just not going to
don't
do it. There's things you learn at very young ages and how to move in the water that you can't even describe to people if you didn't do it at those ages.
well, I mean, I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like bike handling's kind of like
It
that,
is to
but,
some
but
extent,
you can
yeah.
still like I'll never
Yeah.
be like Paul because
can get
Paul
really
grew up like
close.
doing
Yeah.
acrobatics and gymnastics and bike jumping and all the crazy things.
Yeah.
And like he takes that now into his early 20s, and he's like one of those guys that you just can't ride a
Just
bike like
tear
Paul.
it up, yeah.
And I could go out there and practice for days and days and days, and it's just not going to happen. Is it the same concept?
Same idea.
Similar, but probably
idea.
more extreme with swimming.
Really?
Yeah, because
so
swimming is
crazy.
such a repetitive motion too, and there's really specific motor patterns that are learned by kids in the water. This is why this coach we're talking about is really big on like feel of the water. He's always talking about like feel, like you got to feel your grab, you got to feel your grab. That's all very subcortical, subconscious stuff. And if you do that at young ages, it's kind of like kids who learn how to play soccer. Throwing a baseball is a good example.
Yeah.
Imagine like every great pitcher ever started young.
Yeah.
There's nobody who's ever like picked up a baseball at 22 and been like, dang, I'm pretty good at throwing this thing. No, you're not. You're not going to be good if you just start throwing a baseball at 22. That motor pattern is built over a long period of time. It's not like running or even biking, which is like a motor pattern you can just like, you can
just do.
Running is ingrained. So it's swimming and throwing a baseball are not human patterns. Those are developed patterns.
So he sucks at swimming.
He's
Yes.
not that bad. I mean, he's gotten a lot better.
He's a great swimmer, but at this world championship level,
Yeah, he's
yes.
not.
I
That's-
mean, like compared to Jan Frodeno and those guys, yeah, he sucks. But
Yeah.
but that's why I think what's actually going to change for him is his run over the last couple of years
It's gotten good.
is getting good. If his run if his run can hit that sub 240 level, if he's that sub 240 guy, he's going to win a world championship. Because all it takes is the Norwegians to have one bad day. He just needs Christian to have one bad day.
How far back is he when he gets out of the water? How far back?
4 minutes
that
in a
bad.
full.
Yeah.
4 minutes in a full.
That's
Now,
a
are the
lot.
He's
guys-
closed the gap a ton over his career. It used to be like 6 to 8 minutes.
He makes up that 4 minutes.
He used to be back
but
where I'm swimming.
So hold on. If he were to say, it's probably unheard of to take a minute out of that time, that 4 minutes. Is that possible?
Yeah,
for him?
that's possible for him.
He can, but
Does that
that group
change
that he's
anything?
in. Yeah, so what has to happen in the
Sort of.
championship is the group that he's in, and he talks about this in his post-race video, has to swim more efficiently. The problem is all
Right.
20 of those guys are around the same speed, and they're being idiots. They're like fighting each other in the water. What Lionel was saying after, he's like, we just needed 2 guys to go to the front and move, and just everybody line out behind them. He's like, but you can't communicate that in the water. So it's kind of like during a bike race.
You almost need to do a pre-race. Be
Pre-race,
like,
exactly.
Hey, we're all
Hey,
the
look,
second
we're
or
gonna swim
third
the same-
pack.
yeah.
Wherever they're probably second or third pack.
Yeah,
whatever
but are they
and
going to
could
do
be
that
like,
for him?
we're gonna
Saying,
rotate
"Oh, you're
through."
just going to use us to
They-
get up there and then blow our doors off."
No, but they would because all of those guys are in the same boat. It's like
Yeah.
Sam Long.
There's some strong
all
bike
these guys
guys
that are
there.
they're all not great
Hoffman's in there.
swimmers, but they're good cyclists, and they know
They all
that
want the same thing.
they all want the same thing. So
They,
that
they just need to communicate that before the race.
if I
So
feel
it
like
might happen in Kona. They might communicate that in Kona.
I could see that happening. If Lionel Sanders and Sam Long were like, we're going to lead a group of 10 people and we're
Yep.
going to all like trade off and we're
Yep.
going to pull and like when you're in front, pull. Like I could see them doing that, and there's no shame in that. They
and
gotta do something.
And that alone, without anybody getting faster during that time period, would bridge that minute. It would be a minute faster.
Do you remember when Lionel Sanders got disqualified for doing exactly this?
Did he?
Yeah. So there was this other professional triathlete that was like, "I'm going to pace you in the swim," and paced him. And this was quite a few years ago, maybe 4 years ago or something.
Oh,
4 or 5
I
years
think
ago.
I do remember that.
And someone paced him,
Yep.
paced him the whole time through the swim. And then I don't know if like that was, I don't know if he dropped out or whatever. But then I think Lionel Sanders was like, yeah, that wasn't fair. You know, I accept the disqualification or whatever it was. I think he was disqualified from the entire race.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But no, you're right. I mean, like that would be fair if you communicate that with the whole group. And I've even been in the, pro racks when guys are talking about this. Like you know who you're supposed to be swimming with. You get the couple of guys that are just like heads up in the freaking clouds, and they're just like, "No, man, I'm going to swim 24." And you're like, "No, you're not. You've been swimming. You've been swimming 26, 27 3 weeks ago. You're not dropping 2 minutes off your time today."
Yeah.
Where does he stack up in just running and just cycling?
Biking right now, he's there are some very strong cyclists. He's top 8 right now.
Running and cycling, he's in the mix.
Running
For
right
being
now,
one
in
of
my
the
opinion,
top people. He's not the best.
Running, I think over this distance, over the full. We're only talking about the full. I think he's top 3. I think biking, he's top 8.
Okay, so if they went on
dangerous combo.
If they just went on and did a bicycle race, would he handle? Could he be a winner there?
He does pretty well.
And
He's
then
very
if it's
strong.
Just a marathon that was just going to go out and just run. He could handle his business and potentially win there too.
He wouldn't win because
Probably
the
wouldn't.
Norwegians are still faster than him in the marathon.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying his bridge to winning is if his run can reach that alien level that Christian Blumenfeld's at
what
right
you're
now.
saying is,
which we know is impossible.
Unless he
shouldn't.
starts doing the good stuff.
Well, he's got the right coach.
He does.
so what you're saying is he can't win at running because the Norwegians are too fast. He sucks at swimming, so he just needs to quit all of that crap and just go race
And just-
bicycles.
Oh yeah, I like that idea. He should just race.
He set the
bikes.
Canadian record for the hour
record, yeah.
on the track.
He did it, and then he was like, "I'm already good at this. Why do I want to hang out with these losers? I'm going to go to triathlon." That was what
Which is pretty cool for a triathlete.
swimming, dude. You're slow.
He's a good athlete.
Yeah, but I mean, like him jumping into this is the thing I have to tell whenever a triathlete's like, "Man, these guys are really fast. They should just go into pro cycling." Is like, no, there's obviously a ton of other factors that make you a good professional cyclist, like riding in a group or descending.
Things that he probably can't do.
No, I'm sure he would get spit out the back in a pro peloton's descent as soon as it started.
When did he start triathlon? When did he start?
After he finished doing drugs.
Yeah, after
before
he finished
started
doing a lot of drugs. Yeah.
Seriously.
So
He was a
pretty late.
collegiate runner before that in
Yes.
Canada, and then did a lot of drugs, stopped, and then started 25, I think 24.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, I'm good at this.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, all right.
He was
Well,
very good.
so do you think he can win? You said
Yes.
yeah, right?
Yes, I think one of these years, what's going to happen is kind of like what happened this year, where guys get sick. There's going to be a little
stuff happens.
watered down field, and there's going to be that chance that one of the Norwegians just does not have his day. I don't think anybody else is moving up to the full from that super fast 73 ITU world right now in time to interrupt him. If the Vincent Lewis and Martin Van Riels of the world all of a sudden are like, we're only doing Ironman, then no, he will not win, because those guys, as soon as they focus on it, are going to be really fast.
So variables out of his control are what going to lead to him winning.
Yes.
I think
Because
that
he's next man up. So he's next man up. It just takes his day.
I think that it's going to be very tricky, just because like I think maybe Kona this time around might be like his chance,
It's kind of his window.
because he's getting older too.
Yes.
It's just
Kinda
it's
his
going to be
window.
tricky.
Yeah.
Like so maybe this October he is a good pick for podium,
Yeah.
but he probably won't be my pick to win. We'll see.
Second place last
Second
go around,
place.
right?
Hey, so I heard about your race. It was
Second place is the first loser, baby.
It is. It is. Tell Lucy Charles that.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Lucy, too soon. She's injured now, too. That was mean.
All right.
Yeah, she's going to listen to this
Too
podcast
soon.
and be
She
so
is.
upset.
I'm sorry, Lucy.
I think we're done here, boys. I think that's all of us. Everybody did their stuff. I think
That's
we
a
need
wrap.
to jump into one last thing. Who wants to go for Matt Legrand is going to be, I think, our unofficial, official new first.
I always have a video.
Yes.
I posted a video about the Brighton Rider S800, which is their it's their top of the line bike computer, and I have some issues with Brighton, and I say this in the video. They tend to have some buggy software. They don't have Strava live segments, so that's like an immediate no for you guys. But this thing is actually got some pretty cool stuff. First of all, it's a massive display, but it's slim, so it's nice and light. And it's got this thing where you have this like group ride feature. Super cool. So you could be like, hey, let's put all of us on a group ride. You can just talk to it and it'll send a text message to the group, and you can see where people are in the group, and you can do all this kind of like other stuff. Like
that's cool.
Super neat stuff, all right on the bike computer itself. Although it does communicate through your phone that you have to have with you on your back or whatever, but still. Also, a whole bunch of additional features, like talk to navigate your device. And
do they use a specific AI, or is it their own AI that does the talking with?
It uses, so
like
you press a button, you talk through the computer. That information gets relayed to your phone, and then it's translated to text, which doesn't do it perfect, of course. But then, that message goes out to the group. Problem is, everyone has to have a Brighton S800, which no one has, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a really cool feature that's not going to go anywhere. If someone like Garmin were to do it, it would be amazing.
Like, so you got Hammerhead, which
Crew.
They did a really good job of like trying to puncture into this whole marketplace and try and captivate some of that market share. And I think all along their idea was like, keep pushing. Somebody's going to buy us out one of these days, and voila, SRAM steps in, and there you go. Do you think that that's kind of what they're aiming for as well? And if so, who would you see buying them?
I think I don't get the same vibe that I get from Hammerhead. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, someone's going to want to own a bike computer company and they're an easy grab, but I don't see it happening.
Tech or their programming or their software, is there anything in there that's proprietary that somebody like a Garmin could come up and say, hey, we're going to buy up your stuff just for your software and for your...
It's not the kind of software that you want because it's buggy.
Gotcha.
I think what Garmin would do is be like, this is a cool feature. We're going to do it correctly.
Yeah. Or
no,
just go
not license it. Just do it.
Okay.
And so it's the same thing like with any Climber feature, right? Like the Climber Pro, Climbers.
Yeah.
Like every company except for Wahoo has that. Even Brighton has that. Wahoo's the only one that doesn't have it. But no one has licensed that. Everyone's just like, yeah, this is awesome. Everyone loves this feature. Let's all do it. And they're all doing it pretty much the same way. And it's good, except for Hammerhead's doing it the best.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to have a route. You can just have all your elevation information. All you have to do is go ride a hill, and it'll just know your elevation and where the top of the hill is, and it's pretty cool. So
interesting.
Brighton video out, and then as this particular podcast goes live on Wednesday, there should be another announcement that we're all quite excited about. So check the channel for that. Hopefully I will have done my work staying up late at night, editing a video and putting it together.
Yep.
YouTube.
Sweet.
Yep.
And Price, one last thing.
I will be racing here in a couple hours with Lance Hepler, which is going to be an absolute blast.
Huh.
I'm just going to keep on saying it so that he has to come now. Because if I say it on multiple forums, then he has to come. So
you're saying we have to put out the podcast like in the next half an hour, so like it's out there and everybody's expecting him.
And yes, I will be sandbagging again the 4.5s, but I don't feel bad about it. So
how far away are you from getting a 3?
Oh, probably eons. I mean, I have no race results. Like, I mean, really what I do is lead the group around, and then as soon as guys are like, I'm going to sprint for my life, I'm like, that's okay. I have a run after this. So I just
think you have
back out.
To have too many races as a Cat 4.
No, probably like 5 or 6. I mean, it used to be 10 races back when.
But the weekly
you can race whatever you want.
No, but the weekly races don't really have the same upgrade points.
No,
not as the weekend races.
In the last 2 years, I have a grand total of.
Is that your plan? Just
points.
Well, are you just going to go to the front tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just going to,
I think that
Is it a secret plan?
Jerry will be so mad at me. Yeah, here's my secret plan, guys. I'm going to go to the front and then wait for somebody to take one bad corner, and then I'm gone.
Okay, real quick, though. What should Evan do in this race tonight to, like, better show off his prowess on the bike?
This is not
go to the front,
and sit there and let everybody draft off.
Go to the front and just hurt as long as you can.
Here's my plan. So even though I don't like to go completely to the well in these races, there is a way I can get away. And what has to happen is on the hot laps,
yes,
in the 4 or 5 fields, we have some cyclocross guys who have some good pop.
Yeah.
And they're experienced cyclocross racers, so they know how to ride a bike. This is why I can't get away from this field always, because these guys do know how to ride bikes. So they will go and dead sprint on these hot laps. And the one time I almost got away, and I know I made a lot of the field really hurt, was I'm not going to sprint those. I have no business sprinting in a hot lap. So I wait for all of them to go, and then I went over to the left and real sneaky, like, just went for it right after the hot lap, like immediately after going into that first turn. And I was away for like half a lap. The guys had to string out and drop people to bring me back. So I got to wait for that.
Those guys are probably putting out 800 to 1,000 watts for a longer
Yep.
period of time, maybe a little bit more towards the end, who knows. But you can come off of that group and pretend like you're going to chase them.
Yeah.
You're not, though. You're just kind of burning a micro match, but you just need to use that to get yourself out front and then just go lock into like 340, 350 watts for the rest of the race.
Yep.
Nobody's going to catch up to you.
Yeah, that's basically got to be the plan. That's got to be the plan.
And then if you've got some teammates
Sometimes
too,
you have legs.
send some people a few times. Send some people and then see who responds. And then if something sticks, then you can get out of the saddle and get up to those people and work with them. Or as soon as some of the bigger kids that can respond to these things have answered a few of those attacks, that's when you're going to go do your thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for a preem lap.
Yeah, this is true. PIR I am finding though is just a very hard race to get. Me and Hannah were talking
It's
after the
tough to
race
get
too.
away.
It is
It is hard to get away.
You can have the best laid plans. Go right. Like PIR is a hard race. I don't care what field you're in. It is a very very hard race to
Plus,
get away.
there's multiple fields on the course at the same time.
Yeah.
So usually there's some kind of
Lap traffic.
neutral
Yeah.
something that happens, and if that can affect it too.
Oh, if I'm away and I've got like 10, 20 seconds, I am blowing through whatever field I catch because I'm not wasting that 10, 20 seconds. I will yell at the top of my lungs and be like, please let me through.
Well, we're talking about the 4.5s,
We'll see.
and we're talking about Evan with his horsepower and the fact that you just got to go around in circles.
Yeah. I love the course. It's a blast of a course to race on. It really is. It's just, it's a good workout because it's really hard to get away. So it's more exciting for everybody because usually a good group gets to be involved in the race, which is fun.
Yeah.
So
and look for some people taking a flyer on a break. If you can get in with like 2
I'd
or 3
love
or 4
one or
other
two
guys
to come out. Yeah, that'd be great.
And not just from our team, any team.
There was one guy last time who wanted to try and go with me,
Yeah.
and I think he was strong enough to do some help. So it was just we were being followed by everybody. So.
Jeremiah Romano's going to be a good teammate for you out there. He's
Jeremiah had an
strong.
absolute blast last time. I loved having
He's
Jeremiah
fun.
out there. He's so cool.
If he doesn't have a lot of road racing experience, just sit down and come up with a game plan before.
He's got great bike. I mean, he's always had good bike power, but he's a guy who absolutely has he'd be better at bike racing than he realizes until he jumps in.
Now, Josh Monda was going to come out tonight, but he's sick. And was he going to be? What category is he?
Oh, we were gonna. Josh has never road raced,
so he's a 4.5.
So we were going to be in that race together.
Ridiculous.
Give it a couple months. It's going to happen here soon. It's going to happen here soon.
That's funny.
And yes, I was joking with him that he needs to show up in like jean shorts. And have a frame pump so people are like, who is this Joe? And then we just need to we'll just send both of us at some point.
You just have to jump together.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I just described as the moment we're going to jump at together.
Here's what you need. You need this guy out there with you to kind of coach you along.
Come with me.
Just tell you, go.
You could take polls with me. If we time that right, we got it.
That's if I want to.
I will take I will take 80% of those polls. All I need is just like that 30-second breather each lap is it. Yeah.
Little breather.
Yeah.
Put a GoPro on your bike.
We'll have fun.
Yeah, put a GoPro on there so we can get some race commentary from you.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Cool.
Oh, I talked the entire race too.
Lance Hepler, one last thing, bud.
I got nothing to talk about. If I do come race tonight, it's just going to be sitting on the back and finishing on the lead lap. There will be no work to be done unless there's an opportunity that I cannot pass, which sometimes that happens.
Oh, if we're coming that last lap and we're together, I'm coming out just lead out train for you is all I'm doing. Just keep on the gas for Lance to get at least a sprint point.
All right, so my one last thing is we got a pretty cool little event coming up this weekend. Haven't really put it out there yet because it just kind of all finally came together last week. You know, all this Bikes for Kids stuff that we did, all that money that we raised through the ugly Christmas sweater rides and the bikes that we've purchased that have been just hanging out down here at the lab and then, just piling up over here. These beautiful little BMC 2-stroke 24-inch mountain bikes. We're going to give them away to a bunch of kids this weekend.
Wow.
Where at?
We've teamed up with the Vancouver Police Department and their PALS program in conjunction with the Vancouver School District, and they have some at-risk kids that kind of need some help. And these kids think that they're signing up. Well, shoot, they're not going to listen to this podcast. I can tell it how.
I don't think these kids will listen to this.
These kids think that they're signed up for this bicycle clinic, and they're going to come out and they're going to get to ride some cool little bikes and learn about bike handling and doing all the fun things on these little mountain bikes. And they're going to show up, and there's brand new, shiny little bikes that are awesome. They're kids that are, how old are these kids? I think they're like somewhere between like 8 and 11 years old, if I'm not mistaken, or 10 years old, somewhere there. Anyway, and they're going to get out there, and they're like, oh, and they got a helmet for me too. It's a brand new helmet. Nobody's ever wore that. But that's cool. Then they're going to go through this whole clinic, and when the clinic's done and over, oh hey kids, by the way, see that bike you're wearing, the helmet you got on?
Oh, that's cool.
You get to keep that. That's yours.
That is
which
awesome.
is freaking awesome. And
Very cool.
These kids have been working with this PALS program. It's like a community outreach program for kids that are going to be at risk. And what's neat about this is that PALS program is going to keep them on target with respect to the good things that they're supposed to be doing. So one of the things, like if you were a kid and you got in trouble, what would happen? Mom and dad would take stuff away from you. PALS program can do that with the bike. They're not going to like take it away from you. You don't ever get to see this bike again, but they can lose the privilege of having the bike to ride. So they're going to kind of have something just to kind of be that little carrot out there to keep doing good things.
Yeah.
And I love this program, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be doing that
cool.
this weekend.
Very
we'll
cool.
be putting out some posts for volunteers. We need a bunch of volunteers to come out and help us. All the people that have donated and have been asking about this for a long time. This is it.
What day is this?
It's going to be this Saturday.
Saturday.
So
Cool.
the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. And
Nice.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there's also a bicycle race on Sunday, the 22nd, right?
There is the Banana Belt out
Banana
at Hag
Belt.
Lake.
Yep, that's another thing to put on your schedule too. That's my other one last thing. So
Nice.
all that stuff is coming down the pipeline, and it's going to be a fun weekend. Hopefully, we can have some decent weather.
Hopefully, decent weather.
So
Looks like it.
there's only
Does look.
one slight little itsy bitsy problem. The balance of the bikes that are coming from BMC, because we needed 20 bikes. We only have, I think, 13 of them or 12 of them or something like that, and the balance of them are en route. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that those arrive here before the weekend, so we can get the builds up and be ready for this weekend. So, that's about it, guys. That's a wrap.
Nice.
Anything else? Crickets.
Another podcast. Another podcast. Number 400,029.
220.
This is
7.
220.
220?
This is 220.
220.
That's crazy.
Another podcast.
That's a lot.
It's coming up.
All right, well, we do appreciate everybody listening. We will be back with another one next week, and until then, bye for now.